Yep.
This one actually was really interesting because it had so many upvotes.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't think about this at all, but there are more educated women than men. So it makes it harder to find equals in Miami. Do you believe that?
That's a really interesting one. So they were talking about education, not about financial status.
See what I'm saying? And here you were talking about like there is that little bit of that power struggle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously I would imagine, I mean, this could be a little bit different, but like, you know, you are of a, like if you're a woman who has a higher education level, you might as well, you'll probably end up getting paid more. So then that becomes that power struggle, right? In a way, I don't know.
Yes. I mean, again, I think it really just depends.
That one hits you, I can tell.
I'm just trying to think about it, and I'm like, because again, if we're looking at the population in Miami,
right?
I mean, yeah, it could make sense that there's more educated women than there are educated men.
Right.
But I also think it could be one of those things where it's like the women could be super well educated, but the men are making more money. So like those are two different
That's a good point too.
Scales. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
hard to measure just off of one alone, but yeah, that's interesting. Remind me, what was the question again? Like getting lost in thought about it.
I was just getting your thoughts on these, like, because these are things that women seem to believe.
Okay, so let me so this is what I would say, just across the board. This is just my mindset when it comes to anything like that could be a polarizing statement about the status quo.
Very polarizing.
So as a coach, as a manifestation coach in particular, something I'm always telling my clients is about the law of assumption. It's whatever you believe to be true will become true in your reality because you're always going to be seeking evidence of it. You're always going to be finding it around everywhere, and you're just going to manifest more of that energy because you're paying attention to that exact rule or belief, right?
Right.
So if you're walking around with the assumption that it's so, and I hear people say this all the time, it is so hard to find a good guy in Miami, or it's so hard to find a good guy or a good girl in Miami, whatever, like a person that's like my type. And it's like, well, yeah, that's been your experience. And if you keep saying it that way and you keep believing that that's the case, you're going to keep getting the same result. You got to be able to reframe your mindset to be like, okay, no, there has to be some good guys and I will meet one of them eventually. And if that's what you keep coming back to, that's what you're then going to experience.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like beliefs are very subjective. So you get to decide what you endorse and what you don't.
This last one kind of might lean more into you because like you talked about your Lebanese background and the generosity of that and the difference culturally. But this one also got upvoted a lot in like this female poll. But if you're too kind, you'll get used. Do you think that's a thing in Miami?
I think it's if you're too kind without having proper boundaries and without being able to read people, then you're going to get taken advantage of for sure. Yeah, you just kind of have to be very aware of your own, again, with like, when you are a very generous person, you probably have had to learn at some point when to kind of put those boundaries down. And if you do that properly, then you won't have an issue. But yeah, generally speaking, if you're very kind and you don't have any of those other protective factors, that's going to be tough.
I actually don't have a whole lot of like the super, super, super nice guy thing about, I don't have that. I don't know where, I think it came out with football.
Yeah.
Football becomes one of these places where like, you know, it's dog eats dog world, you know?
Yeah.
And like, so you tend to like get hit up a lot, like, you know, beat up and, you know, whatever else playing football.
Right.
So it makes like this little shell, which can be, I don't know, assumed to be like toxic, you know, masculinity. But at the same time, like, you know, I do believe like too much of a nice guy is a bad thing.
Too much of anything is a bad thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, specifically. And that's what I'm saying. You reach that territory when you're nice without boundaries.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to manifestation, right? I'm a firm believer in like narratives that we carry in our head that we try to make true or we battle with, right? We all have them. It's called like Atomic Habits.
Yes.
I love this book. But basically it's like rewriting who you are, rewiring it, right? And just putting these actions toward those things that you want to be true about yourself. Do you think that kind of works hand in hand with manifestation? Because like I've always found myself, I had like the picture thing or whatever else. Like that doesn't do it for me. It's more of like I have to have actions that I throw at it. Right?
Yes, so. Totally. Yeah, that's a great question. And so that's like with manifestation, it is kind of like a two-way street, right? Where you have what you like, the vision of what you want and who you want to be and what you want to like become, but then you also have to be in the energy of it as well. Like it has to feel emotionally relevant and there has to be some kind of output that you are giving in a way. So yeah, you have to have the vision, but you also have to have a way that you're putting that energy out there. So like for you, that might be, okay, setting a goal or, you know, something that you really want. And now you're figuring out ways to actually chip away at it and take action towards it to do it and get there.
Yeah.
For myself and what I teach, like my clients, which are mostly women, it's only recently I've started taking male clients, but for women, it's like, okay, we know the kind of woman you want to become. How can you even just be delusional and like role play and pretend you're already there, even if it's just for fun? Because you vibrating at that frequency, being in that energy, can also be enough to kind of draw it in. It just has to feel real. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing for you. Like if you're gonna take action towards a goal, you can take that action, but if it doesn't feel aligned, if the emotions aren't aligned with what you want the final outcome to be, it's also not going to do anything. Does that make sense? It's going to like backfire in a way.
Yeah.
So it's got to be consistent with, like, give me an example of something that you would want to manifest.
Okay. I want to have an event at a venue.
A really big, cool venue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't fleshed it out yet, but it'll probably happen anyway. But like, yeah, let's throw that out there.
Okay, so if that would be the goal,
Right.
the first step I would say would be to get clear about like what the feeling would be if you were at the height of that goal, right?
Yeah.
So you're hosting the event, it's all going really well, people are really excited, you know, it's really great. That's the energy that you would have to align with first, and then you can take action from that space when you're already feeling good about it. Versus if you have a lot of doubt and you're like really scared and really anxious and like, oh my God, I'm so stressed, all this stuff, and you're visualizing worst case scenarios. If you take action from that energy, it's going to backfire. You're going to manifest from the anxious space, which is anxious outcomes.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No. I also think there needs to be something to be said about the people around you, right? And like, this is something that I constantly like believe for myself. If I have these people around me that I'm talking to nonstop and I get them on my same wavelength of like, oh, Chris is doing this, that even works. I don't know why, but like somebody needs to write a book about that. I'm serious. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but the fact that like sometimes even when I'm not doing something, I'll tell my mom or dad that I am doing that thing, or even my dad, my brother. And then like when I talk to them, like, hey, aren't you doing this? I'm like, I am doing that actually. And then it's like,
it's a feedback loop now.
Yeah. For me, I don't know why that works better. I guess it's because, once again, going back to traditional
you spoke it into existence.
Yeah, but I'm also really close to my family. And so they'll be like, Chris said he was doing this. We expect him to do this. And even my best friends are like, no, Chris said he's doing that. He's going to do that.
Right.
So sometimes, even without even knowing I'm doing that same process, I'll be like, guys, I'm working on this show.
Do you know what time you were born?
No, I don't.
Damn, you don't have like even like a general time frame?
No, I actually don't believe any of that either.
Really? Because I was going to look up your human design map and tell you, it sounds like you're a manifest, like there's energy types, and it sounds like you have the manifestor energy type, which is they manifest through and talking to people about their goals, just like putting it out there. So that would make sense.
It happens for me every time.
Okay.
For instance, this studio, didn't know it existed, and I told a friend, I said, hey, I'm probably going to produce a show in like my downtime. He was like, good luck doing that. I was like, all right. And then like Andrew came out of nowhere, and it was like, cool, now I have a show. And it was like, all right, so now I have guests that come out here. And then even just meeting you, I was like, man, I don't have a guest right now. I walked in the room, you're like,
there you go.
How's it going, man? And I'm like, oh, you should be on my next episode.
That worked out so well. Look at you.
Things like that, if I tell enough people that I want to do something, I don't know how. The world like spits it back to me, and I'm like, okay, I guess I should be doing that then.
Your manifesting powers are too strong.
So your whole thing with manifestation is you're more of the visual.
Not really. There's a lot of different ways that you can manifest something. I think what I focus on as a coach is like, how do we align what you want with what you're doing?
Oh, I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like how to align your energy with the outcomes that you're really looking for. Because somebody might say, oh, I really want to start a business.
Right.
But then you get down to it and it's like they actually have a lot of fear and things that are blocking them from actually being able to manifest that. So that's a big part of it.
Sorry, I want to bring you to what you're asking about, like the times that people are born, things like that. Are you into astrology?
Very much so.
Oh shit.
Very much so.
Oh shit.
Yep.
So you're into like the crystals and stuff like that?
I used to have a crystal phase where I was like really into that stuff, but
okay.
Yeah, now I more so use astrology and it's something called human design as like a tool to really understand myself better and understand other people better. And it's been very crazy useful.
Honestly, I think like I said, I think we fucking and we're in all the way through it. But yeah.
Great episode.
Yeah, thank you for joining. And I was trying to think if there's one more thing I was going to ask you, but we went into astrology and it just took me in a whole different headspace. But no, but like I said, you should definitely come to our event at the end of the year. Because I know once this whole thing wraps, you should definitely come. But I am now officially interested in having a Love is Blind event.
Yay! Yeah, if anything, that's a great takeaway from this.
Just because it seems as if there's like this massive appeal to it now. And now I'm kind of understanding from your perspective, like why the female audience is like, okay, like we're dialed in for these reasons. We have to see what's going on. The social experiment is working for us. So yeah, there's
I love
definitely that. Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, thanks for joining. And